Well, welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show. Well, there's been a lot of news lately about Faraday futures, and not a whole lot of it's been very good. In fact, probably for almost the past year, it hasn't been very good. If you don't know about this particular situation, this was a bright up-and-comer EV startup that was going to take on the likes of Tesla and every other EV manufacturer there was going to be out there. But they kind of grew a little too big, too fast, possibly, and got themselves in a lot of financial trouble. Now, there's been a lot of reports out there that this group's been getting an influx of cash from several different entities all over the planet, but nothing's really ever stuck or really got this company on the right track. In fact, the situation has come up now where they've basically had a bunch of higher-ups that have left the company. In fact, a bunch of folks have left the company as a whole, where there's just basically a ragtag bunch of folks who are trying to keep the lights on, and they've gone so far as now to put together a GoFundMe page to try to keep this place afloat. Now, it's only raised about $20,000 as of last time I checked it, so it's kind of a desperate situation. This company's been circling the drain for quite some time. We'd love to see this company, somebody come in at the 11th hour and just scoop this place up, but it's going to need a fair amount of influx of capital to keep this thing afloat and to keep this thing on track to making automobiles. So we'll definitely keep you tuned to what we hear. In a lot better news, Lamborghini showing off this amazing looking piece of kit. This is the brand new Lamborghini SC18. Now the situation is this. One of their very good customers, there being Lamborghini, came to them wanting to build a special one-off machine off the Aventador. Lamborghini, along with their inside racing group known as Lamborghini Squadra Corsa, actually got together and built this particular Aventador using a lot of the GT3 race car parts right off the brand new Huracan, which next time will be fighting in anger 24 hours of Daytona in just a couple of months' time in the first part of 2019. So this thing gets a bunch of carbon fiber goodies, a bunch of downforce add-ons as well, the massive rear wing that's got 3 manually adjusted settings for how much downforce you want, completely stripped out, lightweight alloys, sticky rubber, and they've stripped everything out of this machine. The power still coming from the standard 6.5 liter normally aspirated V12, making 770 horsepower and 531 pounds-feet of torque, shifted through a 7-speed single clutch paddle shifted automatic transmission. Now, that's pretty much all we know about this particular machine, and the sad part is the chances are of seeing this in the light of day are slim to none, because I'm assuming this one person who actually put together the capital to build this particular machine is going to stick this in him or her personal collection, never to be seen again until it probably changes hands. Now, I'm hoping, by the grace of God, that they actually give this vehicle up to 5th gear, the Grand Tourer. Think about Top Gear. Think if the Stig got his hands on this thing. Would be pretty damn fantastic. So, hopefully that situation happens. There is one shining light that we may get to see this in the light of day. Is this totally street legal still? So it could actually be driven on public roads. So we'll definitely keep you tuned of what we hear. Next up on the list, a massive congratulations to Sebastian Ogier and Julian Agracia. These two folks had done a yeoman's job of winning the 2018 World Rally Championship, the day of the taping of this particular program in the last stages of Rally Australia. About 4 or 5 rallies ago, these guys looked like there was no chance they were going to win this championship. But they were the last person standing, and it really shows how good this duo actually is. When they were running with Volkswagen, that Volkswagen was the class of the field. But the past couple of years, as much as I love M-Sport, that Ford Fiesta was nothing compared to what the full factory-fledged teams that are running right now actually could do. So with the amount of money they can spend on their cars. So honest to goodness, for these two guys to grab that Fiesta by the scruff of the neck and drag it through stages is pure talent. It really shows how good these two are. And they're really going to do a heck of a job going on to Citroën next year. Now let's get over to the Manufacturers Championship with the Drivers Championship wrapped up. The folks over at Toyota and Gazoo Racing, especially team principal Tommy Mäkinen and Kai Lindstrom, who did an amazing job. When Tommy talked about that this team wasn't even in existence just 4 years ago, it's second full year in the championship, already winning rallies, already winning stage times, and challenging for the championship and winning the Manufacturers Championship as a whole. An amazing job. In fact, the back half of the 2018, this was the car to be in for the 2019 season. The fact is, I think they have the greatest drivers lineup going into 2019, at least as of now. The three fellas that they're going to have inside of these cars have won stages, challenged for rallies, won rallies, and challenged for championships as well. So they are going to have a full-fledged strike force of team heading into next year. But now let's talk about the WRC as a whole, especially the amount of drivers that are on the outside looking in for the 2019 season. In fact, we've got way more drivers, quality drivers, stage-winning drivers, that actually could have a shot at winning rallies, maybe posing for a championship, but don't have a ride going into 2019. And for all intents and purposes, there's probably 2 teams that have 1 spot open apiece, maybe a 3rd spot at Hyundai, 3rd spot at Citroen as well, but nothing has been said about those 3 or those 2 teams right there. But let's go through everybody in this list, including Mads Osberg, who I thought did the most amazing job this year. Didn't even run half of the season, still finishing 10th in points. In fact, challenging for the win in Rally Australia, finishing 2nd. He had the greatest line in just after the power stage, where he basically said, shame on any team principal that isn't looking at him for a drive next year. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with, and definitely would be one to be a 2-shot into those 2 teams that are still looking. But let's go through the rest of them. Teemu Sinonen, I think maybe needs another year behind the wheel to kind of season him up before he's really ready to go for a championship. Also, Hayden Pannon, who was actually winning stages at Rally Australia, did an amazing job as well. Another one, a teammate of his, Danny Sordo, somewhat of a tarmac specialist, but still rally winner. The guy's a real shoe as well. Along with Elvin Evans, he's actually a rally winner as well, running Rally GB last year. And then, of course, the sentimental favorite, Craig Breen, probably the most emotional guy in the WRC. You just cannot help but love the passion this guy has for the sport. And then, of course, the big gun, M Sport. Especially when you see Malcolm Wilson today celebrating with Sebastian Ogier and a ton of tears. It's got me thinking of the possibility of M Sport coming in next year as a team is probably slim to none. With very little factory backing from Ford, and obviously all that Red Bull money leaving, going with Sebastian Ogier at this year's end. So I'm hoping they can scrum up enough cash to actually run the full season next year. Would love to see any one of these drivers. Think of it as mine. If I have Malcolm Wilson's ears, Mads Osberg, Craig Breen, and any one of the other folks, maybe Hayden Pannon inside of that, 3 guys I think would really do a good job inside of that Fiesta next year. So we'll definitely keep you in tune of what we hear. And on a personal note, big thank you to Red Bull TV. If it weren't for Red Bull TV, I wouldn't be able to watch the WRC here in the United States. So huge thanks to those guys. They're not paying me to say that. I just love those guys to death, so I get to see this action on rally weekends. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.